It's Patrick from Halfwheel, and this is the Vector Defiance, a flat flame lighter from Vector KGM that came out right about the end of 2021. Now, as you might have noticed, I've been into flat flames a lot recently, and it's for good reason. After a few years of being considered somewhat of a novelty, they have become much more prevalent, and while most lighters are just changes in form around a well-established set of jet torches, this segment of lighters seems to have some room to grow. And spoiler alert, it will be growing as several companies have already announced or will soon be announcing wide flat flames, but more on that in the future. More importantly, we're now seeing the second and third generations of flat flames from various companies, including this one. So let's start with the technical specs. It's a single action flat flame lighter that measures 2.6 inches tall by 1.375 inches wide and about 0.375 inches thick. It weighs a decent 2.6 ounces or so it's got some good feel in the hand. And it's available in 6 colors: black crackle matte, which is the textured version, a black matte, a gunmetal satin, red lacquer, chrome black two-tone, and this one, copper gold and black. Each comes with an MSRP of $45 and Vector's KGM's no-proof warranty. It also adds on a pair of features that aren't on every lighter, especially every flat flame lighter, and they weren't on the Spade, the 2018 predecessor to this lighter. The first of which is a fold-out punch cutter that works about as well as I would expect. Folds out right there from the body of the lighter. Nice little punch cutter. Has a little stem so it'll eject your tobacco cap when you fold it back in. Real simple right there. And then second is a fuel window, which, as you likely know, is one of my favorite things to point out is missing from too many lighters. Now, to use the Defiance, you put your thumb on the raised ignition button over here. It has a sort of a stepped texture to help with grip, and all you do is slide it down. That gets the butane flowing and sparks the ignition, giving you the flat flame, or as Vector KGM likes to call it, a spade flame. So let's turn the lights down and take a look at that flame. So as you can see, the flame is definitely on the wide side. And what this does is allows you to sort of paint your cigar with the flame. It's a little different than using a torch lighter in a certain sense, but again, if you've ever lit a cigar, it's not that different. Again, I have this cranked up decently, but not, all the way up. But it gives me a nice big flame, and certainly a flame that can handle anything from a Lancero or Corona all the way up to upper 50s and into the 60s with ring gauges. It's probably not as fast as some other lighters, but it certainly gives you a different option, and one that I think encourages you to take a little bit of time with it. So again, real solid ignition. And all you do is just pull down on that ignition and you get your flat flame. All right, let's turn the lights back up. Now, in terms of its function as a lighter, the Defiance is very good. The flame size is fairly standard for the segment, making it versatile and capable of handling cigars of all sizes. As with all flat flames, like I said, I equate the process to sort of painting the foot of your cigar with the flame, mainly because of its width, which at times can make it feel like a bit slower process, but look, it's one I think is beneficial in helping prevent charring and, just sort of for the ritual of lighting a cigar. The Defiance is a compact lighter. It's not quite as thin as the Vector Spade or the Vertigo Zephyr, which I reviewed back in December 2021. That means that the fuel tank is still on the smaller end of the spectrum. It's decent, but I wouldn't want to be the only one with a lighter if I'm out with friends for cigars, especially if I didn't have a can of butane handy, because you will go through butane fairly quickly with this one. To refill it, real simple, it's right there on the base, and there's your flame adjuster, which is a little bit of a issue for me as I'm trying to get the industry to move away from flame adjusters that need a tool, but more on that some other time. Beyond that, there are a few things I'm not crazy about. As I mentioned, the flame adjuster. I'm not a huge fan of the body design, and not so much like anything in particular other than the 4 stripes on both sides. Just not my personal design aesthetic, but again, that's up to you, and if that appeals to you, cool, more power to you. Personally, I like the solid design of the Spade and the Zephyr better. Like I said, total matter of personal preference. The biggest consideration with this lighter will likely be if it's worth $45 to you. I think it's a fair price, though, again, I'm not one to need a punch cutter, so this is sort of an add-on for me that I don't really find myself getting a lot of use out of. You certainly have a lot of choices around the $40 to $45 price range, whether it be in flat flames, an increasing amount in that segment, as well as plenty in single and double, triple torch jets. And you can get a pretty nice lighter that offers, again, a punch cutter, butane window, all sorts of things for right around that $40 to $45 mark. If you're looking for a flat flame, this is certainly a worthy option. So thanks for checking out this review of the Vector Defiance. And for more coverage of the premium cigar industry, be sure to check out halfwheel.com.